And we are live. Starting
What up?
off the Rolling Thunder live stream number one. This is our audio show podcast we've got going on with myself and Casey. And we're going to kick off this first episode, taking, maybe we'll get some people coming in here in a minute.
So what are we talking about today, man?
We are talking about old school installs that we've had in the past. Old school equipment in the past. We've got a guest coming on here in a minute. And give me 1 second. We can take and share this around for a second real quick. Boom.
Huh?
All right. Got it. All right, cool. So let's see if how long it takes our guest to get in here. We're going to kick off this show with the previous old installs we like and things we used to have.
Start with your. Since this is our first podcast, start with your background. How did it all start?
I got into car audio, obviously, like I said, growing up in my dad's car audio shops. Him and my dad's friend, John Ross, had Rolling Thunders, what the name of the podcast came from. It was the car audio shop. And they did some pretty crazy stuff, man. I grew up going to their car audio shows, him and my brother. And that's what we did, man. I just grew up as a little runt, sweeping floors and checking out cool car audio stuff and enjoying it. And it was pretty neat, man. It gave me a passion for it. And that was cool. And that's obviously how I got the obsession with the Rockford stuff. And my dad doing the Atlanta rep dealer for him and that. And it was kind of crazy because I thought I wanted to have a fast car and stuff like that. And then I got a car, and I wanted to have a stereo in it. And my first install I did was my first pair of subs I ever got. My dad gave me a pair of Rockford Punch HE12s. And they kind of look like how I did the Recones, but they're just a single voice coil, 12, 400 watts max, like 200 watts RMS. And they were in a bandpass box, and they weren't that anything crazy. But
like a fourth order bandpass?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. But the
we
one
didn't
like the
even
plexi
know
window
what
front
order was
ones.
back then.
Yeah, and they had
it's a cool plexiglass window. And
it had the plastic had the plastic ports and all that jazz that the 2 ports. There's 3 of them, man. And
triple the bass.
Yeah, exactly. It had to have at least give
you
you
have lights
triple
in
the
there?
bass. No, I did not have lights in it. No, but so that I actually had that in a house. I was taking and playing it on so I had a radio that had RCA in and out, but it was like a crappy, like the CDs. It had a CD player on top, like a CD changer, had a cassette, like the cassette on the front of it. But the funny thing is it took and had RCA output. So my dad's friend Daniel, that had the later shop with him, took and he gave me a PA amp for like running PA speakers, and it was like 4, 8, 16 ohm. So what I did is we took and I was running left and right through that home receiver deal, and then I was doing the RCA out in the PA amp and running a subwoofer on it with a crappy like transistor crossover. And so I was running those on that, and like everyone in the house hated it too. Like even my parents at work, I beat the house down in the garage. This is my room. Then we take out the garage, and it was just as bad there. And it was crazy. That's when I learned a lot about like using gain and stuff like that, because it was a PA amp. So like I was like learning about like, oh wow, I can get some thump when I was listening to like I had like Motley Crue live CDs and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, if I crank this up, I can get some thump with the drums and stuff. And it was pretty neat.
Dude, my first experience was, I don't remember where I was. I heard something with some bass, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Oh, it's my uncle's truck. Yeah, he had all this stuff put in. He went to Extreme Sounds there on 92, and this was years ago. I was probably like 10 years old, 12 years old, around there. And I was like, man, this is really cool. I like this bass. And so for Christmas the next year, I asked for like a radio, you see on the shelves that have the subs.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I want a radio with a subwoofer. So for Christmas, they got me one. It didn't have the sub, but it had like these little subs built into the side speakers. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was like, man, this thing's the loudest thing ever. And like, I remember I got off the school bus and I went home, or I went inside the house and I put the speakers in my window with the window open and played it for the people on the bus.
That's funny. I would want to show. I would like crank up the stereo upstairs, just like Pecker would with a stereo in his car. I would have been like the people would get on the bus and I'd go upstairs and crank the radio and like where you can like hear it out my window. I'm like, yeah, you hear how loud that is.
Did you hear that yesterday?
You hear how loud my room is.
And they're like, no.
Yeah, that was great. And I just escalated it from there, man. So I took and ended up getting later some crappy like Fisher home cabinets. Okay. And then another guy gave me a pair of Rockford Punch, like XLC 12s that went in the home cabinets. And our guest is in the green room now. But he gave me the home cabinets. And so I just like the foam was already deteriorating on the Rockford subs. And I just like siliconed them right, popped them bad boys right in, and threw it in there. But I'm going to go ahead and bring our guest in real quick. We've got somebody kind of notorious. He's famous with his YouTube stuff. He's a kind of a big deal on Instagram too. It's a good friend of ours and our team on the team leader of Royal Hitters. The fantastic gentleman. He's been in the game for a long time, and we're going to pop him in the stream. It's our buddy Armando, the Dabassgod773. What's going on, man? Sorry, my dog's chewing a bone over there. What's happening, man? Good to see you, buddy.
What's going on? What's going on, fellas?
What's up, guys? Me and Ramondo are Tahoe twins, man. We both got 07s, and he's got a couple more amps than me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
someone's gonna die, man. You're gonna kill someone. You're gonna catch a charge with that thing.
That's what I call it. I almost killed my man.
Are you good? It sounds like you're breaking up.
It sounds like you're buffering a little bit, bud.
Hold on.
Is that stacks of cash behind you?
Probably so. Oh, you're good now.
It looks like you got stacked up cash on the shelf over there or something. I don't know what.
No, it's Crescendo.
No.
Man.
I'm blind, man. You know how I feel about Crescendo. Great company.
Yeah, if you get them bifocals on, bro. But no, so we were already talking a little smack before you came in here, Ramondo. I talked about for a minute how I got into car stereo, how I got into it. It was my dad's shop, and in case he was talking about how he heard bumping. How did you get into car stereo, man? Give us a little background on old Ramondo here, and what made you do a bump, though.
Back to when you're a little Mondo.
Yeah, little Mondo, yeah.
Can you hear me correct?
Oh, you're
not really, actually, kind of.
Can you hear him?
True.
That's a little bit
like
better if you hold it up there, actually, yeah.
Can you hear me, Nick?
No, man. Utter failure. I think if you can do it without you can take the headset off. You don't have to. You can use your phone microphone.
What are the neighbors tapped in your Wi-Fi using all the bandwidth?
But yeah, it was funny though. So I took in I grew up jaded already though. So I grew up in the shops and all the car stereos that they were doing and stuff. And I was already looking at like LMC truck magazines and some like Summit back when Summit racing catalogs had audio. And I'm like, this is garbage. Yeah, MTX Thunder Southern duty. Yeah.
They put some doo-doo stuff in there.
And
can y'all hear me now?
I can hear you
there
now.
We go.
There we go. So what made little Mondo do a bump though?
All right, so it all started when I was about 14. No, actually, no, I was about 9 to 10, and I was actually sitting by my window. And at that time, I was really, really into car audio. So one day, I just heard a truck go past my apartment, and when I heard it go past my apartment, I'm like, "What is that sound?" And the sound, I felt it hit my chest. It was a Tahoe, and it hit my chest, and I was like, And I said, I want to be like that one day. And that was in that 1992.
Gotcha.
1992. I don't know what
that was the year I was born.
Yeah, I'm a 92 model, actually. Yeah.
Whew. That's dope.
I heard that, and I said, I want to be that one day. So around 2006, because I've had like small bills when I was a teenager. My first bill was I had a old Serene Vega, was it? I think it was a 12 or something inside a 95 Mitsubishi Galant.
Was it the Stroker or was it like an XLC or what was it? I mean, I'm not XLC.
It was.
They had a few different.
It was a Stroker.
Dude, I had a Stroker, man. I loved mine, man. Which I guess you already knew. I had that. Dude, was an amazing driver. And you had it in a what now?
But when I had that stroker, I had it in a '95 Mitsubishi Galant with no box, just placed on the
Free
edge of
air.
the trunk, thinking I was
Was it
beating.
the
Yeah.
the one with the nipple?
Yeah, this is.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
was it stroker? Yeah. Was
if it had a
stroker?
cone, it was like
No,
I forget.
no, it was the one with the cone. It was the one with the cone.
Oh, okay. Serwin
It,
Vega was awesome
Yeah,
back
because
then,
I actually
man.
got that from the what is that? Where did I get that from? The thrift shop, actually.
it's like
That's where I got that
XLCs or
from.
XLS or something like that. I know what you're talking about though. But yeah, they can be ran infinite and baffled though. But what was the amp though? Do you know?
I didn't have an amp. I had hooked up to speaker wires, man.
Off the
That was
speaker
my
wire with the
Hell yeah.
radio, dude.
first
I've been
speaker.
there. Dude, amp is not easy, man. Somebody's got to do it, bro. Dude, I mean, like, dude, if it bumps, I've done it. I've done it. The sometimes without even crossover and stuff like that. The
But you know what? But that was like a week. That was a week later after I heard that truck when I ain't know really nothing about cardio.
and you just knew like I need bass in my life. The now at one point, and I'm sure just like all among us, there's times and periods where like I didn't have any bass or I kind of fell out of the scene, and then the bug got me back. What point did you start getting into thinking about like, hey, I'm going to do a bigger build, or I'm going to take and actually do some big power? And then what was that first big setup?
So my first big setup was it was this guy. His name is Bobby Shepard. He lives in Texas. He actually currently resides in Texas right now. And I was seeing his videos on YouTube. I was seeing boxes he built, and at that time I had two CVR 15s in a custom built box at that time.
Mhm.
Nice.
So when I heard his build, when I seen his box on YouTube, I was like, I need to get in contact with that guy, and that's when
Yeah.
I did my first upgrade to two Orion ACCA 15s on
Is
a
that when the
Rockford
Tahoe?
4000. Yep. No, I was actually in Trailblazer. I don't think you see my Trailblazer back then.
Oh no, I never seen that one.
Yeah, so I
I've
had
never saw Trailblazer myself.
I had a Trailblazer. It's on my YouTube channel.
So two HCCA 12s with the red basket,
15s.
15s.
Yeah, it
Red
was a red
basket?
basket,
Yeah.
black cones. I had
Sick.
those, and I had it on a Rockford 4000.1. And right when I did that, I was like, I need to start making videos, and this was in 2008. And
Yeah.
that's when the ACCA era was pretty big. So I
So
started.
what made you want to buy? And I don't mean to interrupt. What made
You
you? So
good?
I'm a Rockford guy too. I've had all of those T power amps, literally every one of them. Sometimes a couple of them. What made you decide you wanted the power amps? And then at the time, am I wrong? I mean, there was a point where I outgrew those amplifiers. Where it was time to move on
Yeah.
to bigger, better things.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they're great amps, but I mean, the technology's advanced so much over the years that we have amps that are just like extremely powerful.
Hey Scott, I think you was breaking up. Can you repeat the question again?
what did you think about the T4000? And at that time, what made you decide to get a T4000?
Well, first off, it was Steve Mead because I was watching his videos big time because he used to run the T4000s too.
I
And
remember being a wee lad back in the day watching those, where he's
Same.
going through the drive-through windows and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh my god! Because even compared to like the installs I've been seeing, even at competition level before in the '90s and stuff like that, with like the Iasca or it'd be the Nokia Nationals, you didn't see a lot of crazy, insane walled off, like with big motor force subs. It was like, let's do a ton of small old, small drivers. Because that's what they had, or they couldn't afford
Yeah.
it.
yeah, that's mainly what they had. And I seen Steve Mead's 4K. Well, actually, I think he had four of them at the time. He had four T4000, and I seen it on eBay for $800. And I was like, I need to get that. And when I first hooked that amp up, I had CCA wire. At that time, I wasn't too experienced, and I was just getting my feet wet. And I remember I ended up blowing that amp, and I ended up just throwing it in the garbage.
One of us needs to mute the sound on if someone's on. We got an echo, but I don't know if there's any. Okay, actually, yeah, that's okay. So I didn't mean to interrupt you. I didn't know that was the microphone that's doing yours. If you do that as your headphone as their audio sound too, you have to take and get rid of that. But
Yeah, it's kind of breaking up.
Your audio sounds good now, but that's insane though, man. I think it's cool. The 4000 is a crazy amp, and that was one of my like the ones that got away. I always wanted, man. I always had to have the 4000, and it did me good, man. I did mine use mine for a lot. I had the T3000 too. Like I loved it.
It claims
also.
like 1200 watts at like what 5.4 ohms or.
It's like 6 ohms. Yeah.
It was like 6, almost 7 ohms.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. It claimed like 1200 and almost 7 ohms on the AMM one. It's crazy.
Yeah, but it was still thumping on those 415s.
It was, yeah.
But I won my first bass competition trophy on a T4000 with ACCAs in my Trailblazer.
The 215s?
Wow. Yeah, 2 ACCA 15s. I was
nice.
I had it in a custom box. It's on my YouTube channel. It's way back, like back in what 10 years ago?
Yeah.
No, 12 years ago actually.
I remember those Steve Mead videos, man. I had a Blazer, an S10 Blazer in high school, and Caitlin's sitting across from me. She would ride in it in high school. We went to school together, and she's like, "That's what I remembered the most about you was your truck." And that thing, I had the Type R's, the Alpine Type R's on one of those Rubicon sound streams, dude. That thing slammed, and some kicker components. Man, I thought I was like the loudest around, man.
Dude, so I had my
like
first
50 hertz.
Yeah, so I wired in. I had that CRX, the one that I actually got in the accident in. So I got in high school. My first truck, I really didn't have a big system, and I put a radio in it. And I put some nice coaxials in the door, stuff like that. But I didn't have a sub. It was a single cab, and I was really young. But I got my CRX. My dog's being a goober. But I got the CRX, and
dude, put a picture up of that thing. Do you have one?
I think I do have one.
This is Fast and the Furious. Fucking, I'm telling you, bro. When you see the CRX, you're gonna be like, okay, where's Brian?
I love that car, man. Let me pull it up real quick. It's pretty neat. So I had the CRX. I got given a US amps 58.1, and I got a 90s amp, and I took and had it going, and I got given a bandpass box JL like W3.
Who gives you all this stuff? You just got a free W7 today, 12 W7.
Yeah. But I mean, it needs to be recon.
Got all those power amps for free.
That's nice.
But
he's like a audio Goodwill. I've never.
Literally, dude, all my guys. I just take and let me see.
If there was like a Salvation Army for amps.
Yeah. So I had the CRX, and I took and had the JL in it. It was kind of funny.
It kept me out of handcuffs.
The JL kept me over for like 2 days, and the surround turned to dust. I mean, it just fell off the speaker. And it was funny too, because those old bandpass boxes would just keep the speakers great shape, but it was just the surround just disintegrated. But that was the car that was my first install, and yeah. So
that's the one that broke your back, dude.
Yeah. So we took and I had that going, and then I took and pulled it out, and then I got Lightning Audio Storm VC210s. And
if anyone's watching that and has those subs, we will buy them right now.
Let's see. They're actually so the TC they were one of the first subs that took and did drop-in recodes, and they bolted the motor to a Neo or a Ferrite option. It's pretty. I'm sure you're probably familiar with them back in the day. Yeah, so I got 4 tins of those, and we load them in the car. And
look at that, that's dope.
I got in a car accident.
Nice.
They're insane, man. That's from 2005.
It was like a Resilient Sound subs, kind of.
In 2005, the 10. That's what I had. I had 4 of these 10s. It was 1,000 watts RMS, 3,000 watts max. You know what I mean? They're crazy. But I wish
I kind of resemble like a Gold or a B2.
But
that's different.
From back in 2005 though. But so I had that. And in case you want to pull up on his, here's one of his way back setups, his old Solar Barrack.
Yeah, I guessed on the box specs, and it absolutely slammed, dude. I can't even. I mean, I literally guessed. We had to hammer the back deck to fit the box in, take the seats out, and hammer the back deck so it would slide in. And I had an old MA Audio, one of those chrome amps that had the needles on the front of it.
I had one of those.
Bro, amazing, man. That thing was great.
I had that on my CVRs. Oh,
I'll bet it slammed, didn't it?
Oh, it was strong. I think I was actually running it at the time. I was running at 0.5 and didn't even realize I was running at 0.5.
Hey, it was just taking
it. And it just a waffle
probably
line,
at 9 volts. on that old school lead acid battery technology.
What amp is it now? Just the MA audio.
Yeah, MA audio.
I can't ever remember it.
I think I
Let's
had the
see,
1000.
the ones that.
Wait, that one right there on the top left.
That guy.
Look at that.
Yeah,
no, that's not it. That's not it.
That's the bigger one.
It's the one kind of in the middle, but bigger. I don't know.
Something like that guy.
It has like a chrome piece on top of it, like a slanted piece.
That's what's up. I had a
It
bunch
looks
of
like that one that's in the middle.
yeah, something like that.
Nah, I don't know. I wish I knew the model number of it. It's at Chris's house. Still, I need to go get it.
That's the one that got away with me. I really wish I didn't sell those T2s that I had reconed.
Plus, that box looked insane, dude. Like in person, it was a really nice box. Mokel Smith built that.
Yeah, very good
Looks
box.
really good.
Man,
those subs were crazy too.
Yeah, I wish I could have had two more. I would still be rocking that today if I could take and afford to drop like 2 stacks on some blown T2s. Then just spend $600 on recones each one. You know what I mean? Like if I could to make 4, it'd have been a small fortune. You know what I mean?
And then people had no idea what they were, and he was trying to sell them, and people were like lowballing the shit.
Yeah, $200.
$200 today, cash. Like it's like
You're like, no, I'm good.
You must really love Rockford, man.
Yeah, I do.
Scott's a Rockford whore.
I do
big time.
I did have one. I had one build that never made it to light. It was actually an all Rockford setup. I had the Power Series. I was going around some Power Series 10s and some Power Series. I think it was Power Series 8s before I went with SP Audio. I think I did a video on that.
Yo, I haven't heard that in a long time. SP Audio.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was the first person in the United States to run that brand, man.
That's crazy, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you've been a pioneer for quite. I'm not even tooting your horn, but you've been a pioneer for a couple brands. Yeah, that's why I thought it'd be cool to have you on. What's up, man? Living loud, Andy. What's up, Brody? We got another big guy named Kicker. We're just talking to Smack, man. We're talking about previous old school installs. So we'll go there, and I cut you off. So you had the T4000 and the Kicker CVs. I mean, that's when you went to HCCAs, and did it spiral from there or what, man?
So. It got to the point where I started to compete with myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I started to get to, because as I started to go through build after build, I kept saying I want to be better. Then I'll go to a show and I'll hear other people's builds, and I'll be like, I know I can do something better. I know I can make this sound better. Because every time I had a deficiency, I decided to upgrade it and make it better, and I've kind of been doing that the whole time.
And that's a good thing too, man. And that's one thing you brought us together. We all have the Royal hitters and everything. That's
yeah.
I compete with myself. I compete with Casey. I try to keep up with you. And
we went to 7 states last year.
Yeah,
7 states. Brought home a trophy every one. The Tahoe, man.
It makes a big difference, man. So I got into it. I started watching the Amp Dyno videos, and we got the echo again. I think if you want to mute that, but I watched the Amp Dyno videos. I started watching Big D stuff, and then I had a radio that I had for my Corvette for like literally a year, and I never put it in the Corvette. And I'm like, I'm gonna throw this off in the Excursion, and then so I had some like Harmony Audio door speakers in it already when I got it, and didn't really quite sound good. Yeah, they were just like if you literally type in like Ford Excursion speakers on Amazon, it's like the first thing pops up $35 or whatever, and so that didn't quite do it for me. Yeah, obviously, and so I took and put in a Rockford. I had a P3 that I had from my previous Fiesta ST that I traded in, which I had a stereo in the Fiesta, but I mean it was just like really basic stuff. I just put a P3 in it, and I got some speakers from Casey. You're still muted, buddy. But it was pretty cool. But yeah, but so
sorry, I was like saying a whole sentence and on mute.
Yeah, so I put the P3 in the Excursion, and then it was like that's not enough. I need 2 P3s, and then that's when I started doing the. I didn't compete anything with the Rockfords, but I went to a show with Casey, and it was pretty. That's what I did the 410 setup after that and started competing, and that's just a wildfire of upgrades from there.
That's how I got back into it. So I've been installing since like 2010, like professionally. Well, I started at Best Buy, and then kind of worked my way up, and then now I'm managing a custom shop. But neither here nor there. That's what kind of got me back into it. Is me and Scott had this little bet going on because I was living in Virginia for a while. Moved back to Georgia. We had a bet that I could take under $1,000, put it in my girlfriend's Kia, and a meter higher than Scott with his 4-star 10s. He's like, this is the loudest thing ever, right?
Because he had hole 130,
a while,
139.
And it was okay. And then I think you did
it was like a 130. I didn't hit a 140 up the top. I didn't hit
139.8 or
no, all reality, man. No, if you think about
it, Kia, for the record, did a 142.7.
It was, but it's I mean, it's like 4 times the size vehicle. But no, I didn't even hit the. It was like 137.
4
like
times the subs.
But they were the cheapest subs I could buy at the time. If you know, but the I had that. I'm not going to say the brand amplifier on that was not anywhere near power for him. I didn't hit the 140 till I bought. That's when I brought it right here. I kept this in my lip limit to the box actually over there. What spiraled off my Rockford collection was I found a lady that had a like literally brand new in box Rockford T802 on Facebook Marketplace, and it was listed under books and toys, and it was like local, and it was brand new. It had the wrapper on and everything, and I bought that T802, and I drove out to like BF nowhere in the middle of like after work to go meet this lady to get this amp, and like it was literally like I peeled the plastic off of it and everything, and I threw it in directly and placed my other amp, and I was like, whoa, I gained dBs for sure off this amp change. Like it was noticeable enough for me. And that's sorry.
I'm sorry. You're not talking about the 800.2 with the chrome plate on it?
No. The gray amps, the same thing as the T as a 4000.
Okay. T4000.
Yeah. And that was just like my collection from there. And that's when I was like, I need a 4000. Like I need one. And then it went from there.
Oh man. Yeah, when you talk about that 800.2, because I had the older Rockford 800.2. That was actually the first amp I had on my CVR 15s. And the Trailblazer. I don't know if you seen that.
Hold on, Ramondo. We should talk about CVRs for a second.
That was the first thing I bought new.
That has got to be undisputed the most reliable sub. You could beat the shit out of like a step kid you never wanted. Just beat the shit out of it on the daily basis and never have a problem. That was a crazy sub, man.
I had one. That was the first sub I bought new. Was a CVR.
Still is. Still a good sub. We'll comp VR now.
Yeah.
You know the CVRs are pretty reliable for people that's on the budget, especially if they can't afford something expensive. The CVRs is definitely a go-to sub. I would never forget what I used to have. Like I say, I was a big Kicker fan, still is, but they just no use for me right now.
Right. Okay. Fill us in, and Scott, pull up a picture, but kind of explain what's going on right now, because people who are watching this are going to be like, okay, well, he's talking about this, and like they're saying he's loud, this, that, and the other. But just show them a picture. And then when it comes up, kind of fill us in on a little bit. Because this thing, I'm telling you, about to catch a charge.
Oh, no.
Okay, for the record, right now in my Tahoe, I'm running one Crescendo 17K. Craziest amp I've ever ran. An insane amount of power. And Ramondo's running 4.
The Kicker CVR or the Kicker Comp?
No, I'm saying pull up his build.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I've got it pulled up right now. Yeah. Right there,
okay.
I've already got them lined up. I'm already prepared with this stuff right now. The 2003 version for
a little bit.
We've
been working hard on this,
dude. The first sub I bought new though was a Kicker Comp 10. I had some like as it's talking about me buying new myself. I was in high school.
Did you get it at Best Buy or Walmart?
I bought it at Best Buy. I took I had like somebody at the shop I worked at had like some like 1990 Pioneer 400 watt max amp that was bridgeable, and he gave it to me. So I took out, I had an F-150 in high school, a single cab one. I took out the bench seat, and I put in 2 Mercury Cougar porno red bucket seats in it. Okay, so I made me a center console box of a 10 facing forward at the dash. It was sealed, and I mounted the amp on top of it as like a center console. That was the stupidest thing I ever did, because the sucker would get hot, and you just elbow down, like let's keep it down and stuff on all the time. But I thought I was beating the block down in that truck, taking it over that next man. I was so proud of it, man, and I cut it all with the jigsaw at my shop at the high school, man, and I just like terribly wrapped it with carpet and
those soft glass.
Yeah, I made the speaker box. And
the whole thing with the jigsaw.
And I did everything with caulk. I just sealed it with caulk, like on the inside, all the joint. It looked great on the outside, it really did, but inside was caulk.
Oh man!
What was the first install you did yourself? As far as like, was that the Kicker stuff, or was it? Or was it that was the one hanging the free air stuff? As far as amp install stuff, like what did you do when you're like, I'm going to put an amp on these things?
So I mean, I've had so many builds.
Yeah.
Let me think. And I've even had builds that's not even on YouTube. I had like a whole line stream of builds that I used to have on YouTube, and I erased about 100 videos because I didn't want that content shown.
Sure.
But my first setup, I had an all Infinity set. I had an Infinity amp. I think it was the Infinity reference amplifier. It was like the purple and gray amplifier. I don't know if y'all seen those or not.
Oh
But
yeah, man.
yep. And I had the Infinity Kappas in my Trailblazer. That was my first install that I actually did.
The Kappas are
And
great. They're really bright, I think, for
yeah,
me.
too bright
Real
for
bright
me.
speaker.
And that was my trial and error right there. That's when I started figuring out what was good, what was bad, what I needed to learn. That was my learning point from right there. But my Trailblazer 2007 is when I did my first install.
That's pretty cool, man.
Wow.
First full install.
That's about, you know what?
Yeah.
It's about the same time I was getting the same stuff. Mine was 2010.
Well,
my accident was 2010.
08, 09.
So like,
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't an installer really until, like I said, I did like the CRX stuff when I was a teen. I grew up in shops. I was aware how things worked, but that's pretty cool, man. So that's cool that you were thinking about being a pioneer and documenting that stuff, too, also 10 plus years ago, man. You're like, hey, I need to be recording this stuff and showing it off. And I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I was telling you earlier, like I took and I was aware of your content, from a couple of years ago, man. Like, again, the biggest thing was I found your page when I was looking up running doors mono amplifier per door. And that's what I raised, and it just pulls up, the Dabassgod on YouTube. And if you just type in mono door or something like that on amp.
And I was gonna start doing YouTube back in 2002, 2003. But the way YouTube was back then, it was hard. I didn't have access to like good cameras. I didn't know how to use the platform, but I was gonna start YouTube a long time ago. So it took me about 3 or 4 years to actually get into it. So, but it was a long time, man. It was definitely a long time. Definitely.
Yeah.
Casey, what about you, man? What about you? What got you into doing installs, and what made you take and decide you wanted to pursue it as far as professionally?
So there's, the Best Buy in Canton. Nick Teague and Mike Fox worked there. Great tech, both of them. And I had fucked up my Blazer install because I cut the entire harness off, and I thought I was going to color match it. Didn't look at it. I even had the harness. Like, I had the parts I needed. Instead, I just cut the factory plug off. I was like 16, had my Blazer. I'm like, I'm going to put the stereo in. And then I blew all my fuses, didn't know what was going on. So I took it to them, and then they fixed it for me, right? And I was like, dude, they're the coolest guys in the world. They just, fixed my stereo. And then I installed my own stuff, and then people were really impressed with it. And I was like, I don't know how it works. I just guessed on. I took the subs I had, right, and at the time the first install was one Type R, and then I was like, oh, I got a Sony Explode from Walmart for $50. So I built a box and I guessed the specs, and I put a Sony Explode and a Type R and an MTX Thunder Elite amp all together. It worked okay. And then I finally got another Type R, and it's it really beat. Peaked really high, but it beat in my Blazer, and yellow top Optima. So then I caught the bug for that, and I was didn't really know what I wanted to do with my future, and it's kind of a pivotal point where I'm in high school, and it's I really enjoy this. If I did this, I've always been told that if you like what you do, you don't feel like you're working. And I was like, I'm gonna go to school for this. I went to school for automotive technology, did my electrical classes. And then when I got my ASE in automotive electrical, I went to Best Buy for a job. At the time, I was working at Papa John's, delivering pizzas. And
I remember that.
I had a.
That's when I sold you those wheels.
Yeah, those wheels were. There's a bubble in the tire, you asshole. But anyway,
I didn't even know that.
I forgot you told me those, you dick.
But you were saying though, can I sidejack on that real quick? Actually, really fast. Going back on those cheap stuff. So the Explode thing you bring back on that. There's 2 times that me. I've had 70-something vehicles. That's a whole other process I've had where I flipped a bunch of cars for a long time. I took and I had a Firebird. That's really surprised me. I bought a Pioneer 12, a pair of the 12s. We got the Echo again. A Pioneer 12s and a Pioneer amp, and I threw that in a car to sell it. that crazily impressed me. There's another car, an EG hatchback Civic, that I had the Kicker CVX set of 15 in it, and I pulled it out. I went to Walmart and bought a Sony Explode 12, the prefab box from there, and the Sony Explode 1100 watt amp or whatever it was, the pyramid style one. And dude, that blew my freaking. I threw that in to sell that car. I was like beating on it all the way till the guy was like about to buy it. I'm like, this is like, I can't believe this thing impressed me. But what you were saying, so once we get done with that, I'd like to take and go back and since we go back even on the Kicker basis, what is some cheap product that you like? But we'll finish that after you do your story. You continue on.
Me?
Yeah, you're at Best Buy.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm at Papa John's. I traded that shitty Sentra in and got a Chevy Cruze like a dumbass, and that's when I put that CVR fit. Or no, I'm sorry, the Solo. Was it Solo Barrack? Or bring the picture up. Because Andy's in here, maybe he can elaborate on what this is.
I got it's just a regular Solar Barrack
from some guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Oh, it doesn't work." And it worked fine. It slammed.
Yeah, I think it's a first gen Solar Barrack.
I think it is. Yeah. So that's when I started with Best Buy. I got a job there. Got my MECP. Got my MECP Advanced, and then I went to sound stations. Then it just kind of snowballed, and I really liked what I was doing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And every day I'm just trying to find way. Oh, that's my build right now.
Look at that. It's insane.
I like them seats, man. Those are some nice seats.
I appreciate it, man. That's at my shop at Crush Customs. We do upholstery and audio, remote starts, all kinds of stuff, man. And the upholstery guys just absolutely kill it, man. We have Orlando's Magic there, and he is an absolute animal guy. I mean, he hand-stitched an entire Bronco, dude. I'm talking he even suede wrapped around the damn airbag. He does crazy work. I've never seen anything like it, man. You look into this Bronco, you're sitting in there, and everywhere you look, you're like, wow, how long did that take? And then you look up to like the roll bar. Even the roll bar is wrapped in leather, man. It was crazy. So I've never seen anything like it. And I was like, let's do something with mine. So on the roof there that you see, that's not finished, he's going to do all the upholstery and everything. Still trying to figure out the port. Not sure what to do with the port yet. And when subs get here, man, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I wish I had a GM.
It's going to be crazy.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for that.
Scott heard it with the FIs that I got from Ramondo's last build.
Yeah, it was those FIs were moving more. Okay, I'm not even throwing jabs, Ramondo. Those FIs were moving more in his Tahoe than they ever did in your truck, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, Casey was giving those things you saw the video. They're just throwing haymakers, dude, for about just like me, about a minute and a half, and then one of them died.
It was louder than my last build. I did a 156.2 no wall in my last build, and it was louder than it ever was at 18 hertz. It was insane.
Yeah.
And then a genie came out of one of the subs.
So what you say you was hitting again? 158?
On the new build?
What F5 bit? Well, you had the F5s in there.
I never got to meter it, man. I gave Scott the first edition 2002 Celebric L7. Andy, you're the man.
Andy knows his stuff, dude. He's doing hair tricks with a freaking solo sub and an Eclipse. And
dude,
like,
okay,
yeah, I
want more of those so bad. I want to put this crescendo on them.
I love seeing the old school sub still getting in. That goes back to So
that's not an old school sub. That's the new Celebric, or that's the new what is it called, Andy?
I forget which one he had.
I thought he had X.
I think his is a discontinued sub, though. I do believe.
No, do you see the magnet on that thing, dude? It's huge. I want to say that's the new one, man. I want to say the one that just came out, the 18. But maybe he can tell us if he's still listening. He might have left us already. But yeah, that thing was moving. He's doing hair tricks with one sub.
It was crazy.
That's crazy, especially with a kicker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Man, Kicker's the most underrated company of all time. Just because they sell at Walmart, come on, man.
Oh, dude, they're about to drop an amp.
Oh, his 2008 series.
Yeah, wow. See, I thought it was a discontinued sub already. He's keeping it alive.
You know what?
Even better, yeah.
More impressive now. Yeah. Now that I know that, that's way more impressive than if it was the current model. Because that current model is insane.
We'll have to have Andy on here sometime. That'd be cool.
For sure, yeah.
But that's pretty nuts. Wasted information, 100%. Yeah, dude. Okay, so like dude, we already both know the Kickers got the insane subs coming out, and they're dropping that new amp line for a big amp. So it's gonna be some crazy stuff. You already know they're about to drop a bomb on the game because the sub already did. The sub already. Imagine what the amps are gonna do.
Dude, I'm so excited. I have the old base Civic in the driveway. We could honestly make that like an audio kicker car.
I'm telling you,
I wonder why they got rid of the Kicker Warhorse.
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
Well, I mean, it's a hard market, just like the T4000, man. It's the way that it's taken. Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, we'll do it every Friday, Andy. That'd be awesome. The Warhorse, though, in my personal opinion, that's a pretty select market, just like the T4000 was. And you take and the way the amplifier worked, that's meant to be a competition amplifier. And if you ever hear one, they've got a unique sound to them because it being a full bridge amplifier. It's the way that the amplifier works. It's actually splitting the waveform. So one wire is doing half the waveform, and the other wire is doing the other half the waveform. So like it's really hard to. It's not meant to be a musical thing. So when you make an amp, even at 10,000 watts, it's the kind of circuitry just trying on it, you're not ever going to have anything that's crazy musical. And that's my personal opinion of whether they discontinued it. But it's a crazy amp.
But now we have amps that, like I said earlier, with technology advancing, like the amps that we're running now, Ramondo, and then the amps that Scott and I have been working on for our company, not to plug it, but now the technology is so far that they can sound good and have power. You know what I mean? Like these big Korean boards are just insane, man. It's a whole different ball game. You throw one of those things in there and you're not ready for it. you gotta have that electrical, man.
Oh, for sure. I mean, even going back to the Warhorse too, we got to look at efficiency,
back
man.
then, yeah, there's no efficiency on that thing, probably.
Like in the T4000, same thing. The Warhorse is either.
Are there any numbers on Warhorse?
I think they are. They're serialized. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Touche. That's a valid market. The market was a different time then, guys. Like, why would they buy the Warhorse when they could buy a few different smaller amplifiers and chain them together or something? I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of products that were huge like that were great products or even great brands that just disappear with time. But I think Kicker, they're good on keeping them on their toes on what's hot in the market. To provide the customers. That's what Kit preaches. Even not getting all the eggs in one basket.
Yeah, and plus they've been the most reliable company I've ever known. Like, honestly, in audio, Kicker has been the pillar of car audio. Everyone knows, even people that don't even know about audio know Kicker. This podcast became about Kicker.
That's exactly trying to like, oh man.
Well, it's funny because this episode's about like the builds we loved the most, like back in the day. And
about Kicker amps,
coming up, man. It's awesome. I love it.
Well, I knew. And I couldn't. I'm a Rockford fanboy now. I couldn't afford the Rockford stuff back then, dude. Even a punch amp or something like that, it puts you at quite a few $100 price point. I knew I could take and when I was doing my install with the Kicker stuff like that, I knew if I got that 404, like I know I'm getting 400 watts. I knew when I got that Kicker, I wasn't getting anything crazy above it, anything below it, but I knew I was getting that rated power. So it was like, and it did it for me, man. Like if you remember. I think my next cool install I had was, and I got them from Casey, I had the 2 Polk DXI 12s on that Kicker, same 404 amp that I bought.
And when I was at Best Buy.
Yeah, and dude, I thought that. So I was running. I thought I was doing big things. Okay, Mondo, I didn't even show you this. So I had my dad's old car audio car, the 79. So I had these speaker pods for dual 6.5 doors. And at the time, I was balling on a budget. I didn't have an amplifier to run the doors, so I bought Kicker comp 6.5s. They're super efficient. I ran them my front and rear as my door pod. So it was my front and rear channels. It actually sounded fantastically fine. And then I did the amp bridge to 2 channels, 1 per sub. And in my tiny 1979 Civic, bro, I swear that got down, dude. And like I had one battery and a GM 90 amp alternator or something, But the car is so tiny. So I mean, like, and I thought I was doing big things then. And I was going to shows and I would take or car meets and flexing the windshield on 212s on a Best Buy sealed prefab box, But it was great though.
Oh yeah, dude, you put those Polks in the 79?
Yeah, I had the two, and I ended up putting them later in an Explorer. And then selling them with the Explorer. I wish I didn't. Dude, those Polk DXIs, I loved those subs. I'm not gonna lie, I really like those Polk DXI subs.
Yeah, Polk's a great company, man. They've been really reliable too, and I've always felt good selling Polk to customers because I knew that for one they'd like it and they'd be impressed with it, and two it'd last. You know, especially the MM series. The
Yeah.
MM series is ridiculous. I mean,
I put those in Lola's Jeep.
you can put them on an amp. You can leave them off an amp. You can clip them to death. You could like throw them in the lake and turn them on. They're fine. They're ridiculous. I love them. So hey, pull up Armando's build now. We didn't get to that. I want him to kind of see what we're dealing with here because it's ridiculous. So okay, we went from you went from kicker, okay, the little bass setup to this. You want to kind of explain it, Armando?
I'm pulling up the.
No.
Explain what we're looking at right now.
Okay, so this build right here is basically a folded ported wall or 6.5, and I don't think people really get exactly what that is. I mean, it's a series tune build, and it's not meant for SPL. It's strictly meant for demoing and it's musical. It's not meant for numbers. That was the goal. That was the intent. That was the plan. When I talked to Daniel,
and that was the result too.
That was the result, just straight musical. Can it do numbers? Yes. The last build, I think the FI subs and the power amps that I had in there, the highest I did was a 163, and that was just off of straight raw power.
And that song, you didn't even get into clipping on that either, so you could have had well more than that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you had your stuff on reserve, man, and that was insane. I got another picture.
Whenever we met Ramondo in Tampa with the FI subs, and this is where I bought the subs from him, and we scumbagged him into really turning it up, and it was insane, dude. It was insane. Even your face in the video. I wish we could have this video pulled up, but your face was even
rolling the window up.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna tell you now. Like I've always sandbagged my demos like all the time. People don't really understand it, but I have. Even with the F5s, man, I've sandbagged it so bad.
I think he has a question for you, Ramondo. He says, "That's nice, man. I was going to ask you how you like having drivers firing at different angles compared to your traditional 6 series."
One thing about the drivers firing towards me in different directions is all the subs, whenever they hit that sound wave, is not going back to one direction. I think it kind of helps out with cancellation, especially with the enclosure being that tight with 8 18s in there. Mm-hmm. And it also gives me the option to play different frequencies, and it opens up the bandwidth without having that loading wall. So like if I got both of my doors open, I can play up to 63, 64 hertz. And that's specifically with that specific design. If I have the doors closed, I can play anywhere from 13 all the way up to, I can play up to 63, but it rolls off at about 45.
So that's what I loved about you. And I mean, to cut you off there, man, that's one thing that blew my mind about yours. Not only that, and Casey's the bandwidth, man. Like some of these songs, man, you got to go from 20 hertz to like 60, and you go from windy to like, oh my goodness, my chest hurts, and the flash of an eye. How responsive some of these new drivers are is mind-boggling. The amount of motor force that they can take and get into these subwoofers and make them be able to move them quick. It's insane, man, and I'm very excited. I can't wait to get together for Slam and everything and hear your build. I'm doing that too, man. And that's one thing I told Casey the whole time.
Hey, pull up your build.
I'm doing mine.
That's what you're dealing with.
I'm doing. I'm going to show yours off real quick while I'm looking it up. That's yours.
It's his excursion. Oh yeah, look at that.
Go over yours real quick while I pull up mine.
I just threw those lights in there today.
So you've got the Power Hog Lithium. You've got the Crescendo 17K. You know, we got Master Dabassgod down here. He's got 4 of these bad boys. I couldn't imagine.
Dude, someone's going to die. Scott,
the one was so crazy.
You heard one with 418s. It was brutal.
It
was too much amp. I tuned it with the DD1, put it on 4 3500 RMS subs, all the upgrades, SB4s, and it absolutely beat those things to death at half.
It did. It literally
beat them. It blew 2,000 amps of fuses twice.
Yeah. It was insane. And you know, cops were involved both times.
Yeah. My serial killer statement. I was like, I know why you're here. And he's like, actually, I was just patrolling the church. And I was like, oh.
Well, you know, I didn't tell y'all this, but remote, you know, I did some videos with me with the new build going out under the highway. So I kind of parked with Carter at nighttime. And I didn't record this video, but I turned those 17Ks off. I put it back on 0 dB. That's technically 8 dB overlap, just based off how my settings are. and I turned them suckers up, all four of them. Turned them up, playing those DC, dude. It hurt. When I said hurt,
I was gonna ask you about that
Your
because
dash is gonna disintegrate.
I remember. I think we lost him, maybe, but no, everybody's refreshing
There he
stuff.
is.
But
yeah,
I
I
was
had a
gonna ask
call.
you about that comment, and I remember you said that you saw your life flash before your
I
eyes, quote
did,
unquote.
man.
The
I was by the window, and it hit me, and I just closed my eyes. I'm like, oh my god, man. I'm like, this is crazy.
And I have
It,
nothing against
so
Brazilian amps. The power is a good amps, but I'm telling you, man, that big Korean board, there's just something about it.
you know what? One thing I've noticed about those Korean boards, like Christian, I mean, they make some good power, but I noticed those amps get warmer quicker than those Brazilian boards.
They do.
what's the
They
style
do.
of
They're
transformers
less
and David?
efficient than a Brazilian board technically, but you just throw a couple fans in there, you're good. I mean, when I was at half an ohm, it was getting pretty warm, and it actually shut off once, but I was really beating on it, and that's why I had to turn the amp down a couple times. It was still killing those subs. I couldn't. The only time I turned it up all the way is when I blew that sub.
Yeah,
But you just throw a couple fans on it, man, you'd be good to go.
I'm gonna
There's
pull
the
my
hog
Yeah, that's
pen.
if I.
yeah the
Oh, you
hog
good?
pen
Go
get
ahead.
coming together. I'm sorry. So I got the second row leather coming, and we're gonna get I've got the box, the box itself, and the porcelain stains is there. I'm gonna
I think she ordered it.
laser engrave the hog pen across the top there, and but it's gonna be pretty tight. We've got that. I've got the door pods going on. I'm about to wrap them in material also.
The seats were done at my shop too at Crush
Yeah.
Customs. Yep.
And so we're doing 6 of these big honking guys on the right here. Not the one I'm holding, the one on the right of the hog. 3. These are gonna be pretty insane subs at Neos.
5-inch coil.
I'm thoroughly excited.
Yeah.
And the believe it or not, the cool thing on these sub is we were very worried about the 5-inch coil and how thick it was, and the coil diameter of it taking a lot of power, taking and moving it.
Yeah,
These things were moving on like 1,000, 1,500 watts. They were moving, bro. So they're end up being a lot more efficient of a driver than we expected when we got the measurements on them. And I think I'm going to have some pretty insane musical bandwidth and be able to beat on them a long time. Man.
The bandwidth's going to be insane. I'm willing to guess that you have pretty strong numbers from 20 to 60. Pretty strong. Maybe roll off at 50, 55. But it's going to be really strong, I think. For a C-pillar wall, too, you know?
Yeah, it is C-pillar in my long limo of a truck. In Win ISD, which is a lot of times it's somewhat kind of close, so you can tell kind of it showed very good about plus or minus 3 dB, 25 hertz to 60 hertz with a roll off on both sides. So I can play the lower numbers. I lose. It'll roll off pretty quick below 25 hertz.
Yeah. And that's where mine's going to start, John.
See, but I want to play music. That's what I'm going to play. Actual music. I'm not just doing 18 hertz rebase all day.
Dude, I'm just straight windy boy now. I don't give a fuck about anything under 30 hertz anymore.
I'm playing nothing but just music, man. Like, I'm not gonna be all windy. Not on the first show. I'm
as long as it's not Killshot again, Armando.
Yeah, don't play Killshot ever again, please.
That song was really windy, man.
It was not even rebased.
Not even rebased, man. It was windy, man.
Just straight up, just Amazon music.
I'm even tired of it myself, so I'm not even playing it no more.
Andy, that's the exact thing. The reason I was doing the C-pillar is because I'm actually thinking about later on doing a second front sound stage in my second rear doors because the excursion is so big. And I'm going to do it because if they're not pointed towards the driver passenger, it's going to sound like a rear fill. But I want us to be soaking up the air conditioning at these shows, sitting in these front seats, and we just focus on cramming people in and out of the second row. You just open the doors. Or just do 4 windows down here tricks, all 4 windows. You know what I mean?
That way when I blow us up, I can just sit in there in the AC and just chill.
I'm straight up, dude. I'm taking 6 freaking subs or 6 recones. I don't give a F to Slamology. I am prepared to send all of them. In the name of Base God, we pray.
I'm going to try these new ZV6s out and see how they sound, man.
And Andy, I'd love to give you a demo. We'll have our whole team there, man. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be insane, man. I cannot wait for Slam. And it looks like we're going to make it. As long as I get my subs and we can actually get some actual time in Scott's truck, we should make it.
My subs and amps should be loaded in the truck tomorrow.
And I need to get my doors, man. I need to get my
doors. Your doors. Yeah, you need them.
See, I'm going to get...
ETA? What's your ETA on your doors?
He told me before May 30th. That's what he told me.
That's perfect. You got 15 days to dial it in.
Oh, man.
Or 13 days.
Yeah. We'll see, man. We'll definitely see.
Yeah. Well, we're approaching up on the 1 hour mark, guys. We got about 6 minutes left. We'll go back into it. And all these guys do it now too, so might as well go on it. What do you got working on, Ramondo? What's the base guy got coming up? So you say you're working on your doors. What's going on with that? How long do you think playing? What's up?
Well, the build is pretty much done. Only thing, yeah, the build is pretty much done. Only thing I really got to do is get my airbags put on and just fix those small, minute things. Yeah, I'm putting it on my rear suspension. Yep.
Oh, I thought you meant like airbags, like safety airbags.
Nah, I'm getting some airbags put on.
You need them. How much do the subs weigh?
93 pounds.
93 pounds times 8 plus 70 pounds times 4 for the subs.
Oh, man.
Or for the amps. The amps weigh 70 pounds.
I don't even feel like adding that up. But, I already got heavy-duty coil springs and heavy-duty shocks already. So it's really not sagging that much. It's just a little bit since I put them DCs in.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, the truck is pretty much ready. I just need my doors. That's it.
Yeah.
Mine's not really squatting. Casey, you see, I've got the subs in the truck right now. I don't have the amps or the battery, but I don't think it'll be bad.
It's in the middle of the truck, though. Dude, my Tahoe feels like it's a little top-heavy when the subs are in it. These, so I don't know. I'm doing ZV6s. They should be here before Slam, I hope.
1,400 pounds, I'm right at my limit. I'm good at. I'm below my
1,400 pounds at what?
I think he's talking about everything that you was talking about as far as my build.
That's insane to think about that kind of weight. I could tell just the truck doesn't drive any different. I could like power wheels feel the same, but going around turns, I can feel the weight lean in the truck now. But I'm not squatting or anything.
This is why Exo made those videos.
Yeah.
But when I go to when I travel to these big shows, I take my alternator belt off and put my factory one back on. So
why don't you just okay, so on my Tahoe I got the triple. You have a quadruple alt, right?
Yeah, I got a quad.
So I've got the triple alt. I'm running 2 alts straight to my lithium bank, and I have a relay for my ignition. And I can actually press a button and turn the relay on or off, and it'll field my alternator. So I can just turn my alternators off, and it's no drag on the engine. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, you still spinning the pulleys though.
That's true.
But you got to think about it though, Mondo. Those things are made to be spinning for 300 plus 400,000 miles.
That's true.
You're just spinning the bearing.
And when they're not fielded, they're not getting
it's not.
warm.
You don't have a charge going on them. Yeah, it's just a fan going at that point.
I've noticed a difference with my acceleration with that belt off too.
Oh, I believe that.
No, you're right. Yeah, for sure. Without the belt, yeah. If I like floor my truck, it'll actually squeal the belt. I might need to get like a half an inch smaller belt.
Because I'll like accelerate pretty quick, and then it'll probably go to 3,000 before it goes to next gear with the belt on. When I take it off, it drives regular.
Really?
So yeah, you should try it.
Well, you do have 4 alternators, and they're all. What are they all like? 500 amp or something?
370s.
So they're 4 370 amp alternators.
Yep.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. That's crazy. At 16 volts.
16.2.
16.2 on 4 crescendo 17K. Someone's gonna die.
And your voltage.
Someone's gonna die.
Your voltage wasn't even dropping, man. You've got those amps turned so far down. You're getting probably great efficiency out of them.
No, it's I have it at an 8 dB overlap.
Nice.
But I didn't turn it. I turned the highest I turned it up was to 32. So I had like about 5 more clicks left.
I'm really excited. My game plan is I'm going to take my port out. I got a button up this install for a customer, but I just got to literally put a trim together, tune it. I got the belt on it today. So with Casey already got 99% of the tuning done.
But I tuned pretty quick, man. I can. So I can do that. Yeah, Scott. It took me about 30 seconds, and everyone's like, "That sounds amazing." I'm like,
I'm gonna load myself,
dude. It's honestly.
You just gotta know the
just
frequency
doing all
ranges.
These fucking installs for customers. You just got to turn them out. Or you don't make no money. It's not like that anymore. I'm able to spend a lot more time on customers' vehicles. But when I was commission only, dude, I was turning and burning them, dude. I was getting as many as I could out the door.
But you guys, once you do it so long, kind of like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and just turn this tray up to like 150 hertz to start off.
Right.
With
Yeah, you can preset your crossovers.
Yeah, so you know
already have an
range.
idea. And then that's another thing to bring up too. Maybe we'll bring this up in the next episode.
We'll do another thing on tuning
stuff. When you design your system, different drivers have different frequency responses, and when you put those things together, you can really design a really good system, or you can really miss some frequencies too. You know what I mean? Like if you design it wrong.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
That's one thing I think we'll do. We might make that episode too. Andy, I'd love to have you on that because you have a really good input on it too. You're very knowledgeable in that, even in the enclosure building. There's things
as long as he wears the wig.
Yeah, a lot of people get in the a frequency in their head and a driver, and they just go to town with that. And there's so much more to it. And guys, we're about 1 minute left, 45 seconds. I do generally appreciate your time. Thank you, Dabassgod, for coming on with us tonight, man. And I had a great time with it, man. It's a lot of fun. We're gonna be doing this again on Fridays evenings at 8:30 p.m. We'll get some more people following on it. It's a good time, man. Casey, obviously appreciate you too, buddy.
Yeah, man.
And let's fucking do this, guys. I had a good time with this.
I see you fellas at Slam.
Cool. I appreciate you, buddy.
We'll see you at Slam, sir. All right, fellas.
All right, man.
Boom. We're going to go and call it a night, guys. You have a good night. Andy, thank you for tuning in, buddy. Again, I'll hit you up personally on Facebook, buddy. We'll get you in on this, and I'll go from there, man. And everyone have a good night. That's episode 1's a wrap, guys. That's it.
It's a wrap. Peace.
All right.
See you guys. Have a good night.
Yep.